Welcome back to the Media Centre, Thomas. You've just come to us from the opening ceremony. The 2018 Ryder Cup is now officially open.
Yes.
I'm sure the men and women out here are going to have a few questions for you about the pairings, but first of all, could you just give us a little bit of insight into how you and the players are feeling now that, well, it's go time, essentially?
No, I said for a long time this week that we're ready to go, and that's this is it. You know, we stand on the night of this starting, and I felt like on Tuesday, we were dragging our feet a little bit and getting to know everything, and then the last 2 days have just been fantastic. There's been an unbelievable mood in the camp. They've been great on the golf course. They played with each other out there and had a nice time. The team room's been brilliant. So, you know, we stand here and all is good. And you know, the great thing about tonight is that I'll get a night's sleep the night before the matches, because I think that speech has been playing on my mind for a while. So I'm looking forward to actually get to bed tonight, and then we go tomorrow. But you know, there's a wonderful mood in this group of guys. They're really good with each other. So yeah, we're ready to go.
Thank you, and we'll take some questions. Mic 1 with Phil over here first.
Thomas, we can all try and analyse what you were thinking, but perhaps it'd be easiest just to ask you, how did you come to these 4 pairings?
Well, I think I ran into one of these problems that everybody around would say is a positive problem. Everybody's playing well and everybody's feeling good. So, you know, I've looked at these guys, and I think, you know, there's obviously the obvious guys out there in the sense that people that you would all expect to be there, and then, you know, there's a new guy in every group. You know, but they've been just edging to go, and especially, you know, Torbjørn and Bjørn and Till, you know, they really just desperate to get out on that golf course. So wanted to get them out there. I mean, Tommy's a different guy, you know, in the way that he's won around here, and he's been real quality for the last couple of years. You know, he's very calm and relaxed. I mean, they're not going to give it a lot away with emotion, those two at the end there. They are, but they're great together, and they feel really comfortable and good. So, you know, this is what we go with tomorrow morning, and it's a marathon. You know, it really is, and I just believe very much in this team. I believe in them as a group. I believe in them as individuals, and I've just really felt like, you know, this is what I saw. This is what we saw in the group of 6 of us. You know, and when we sat down yesterday and today and went through it, you know, it very much came to us like this, and that gives us, we feel it gives us a lot of options as well going forward. But delighted with the way that it turned out this evening.
And mic 3 with James on the right here.
Thomas, do you intend to play everyone tomorrow?
Well, I've said along, you'll have to wait and see. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that your dream is probably to play everyone, but we'll have to wait and see. You know, there's so many things that can happen in the space of an hour and a half in a Ryder Cup. So I've not locked that down at all. But you know, we'll wait and see. There's certainly a strong group of guys that are sitting on waiting to get out to play. So we'll have to wait and see.
And over to the left, mic 2.
Thomas, you mentioned so many guys are chomping at the bit, but a lot has been made about Jon Rahm's energy, especially coming into this week. How much of that was a motivation in your decision to put him out in that first group?
Yeah, but John's a guy that, you know, he wants to be out there. He wants to be, you know, he wants to have a responsibility. He wants to feel like he's in the center of what is. And you know, it's not every rookie in the world you take and put them on the first tee in the first match at the Ryder Cup, but this one's is pretty special. And not talking about him as this week, but just in general, he's just a pure quality and competitive and just want to be out there. So we send him out tomorrow morning with probably one of the best players, or the best player in the world, arguably at the moment. So, you know, that's a pretty good place to be for a rookie. I would look forward to it if it was me.
And staying on the left, mic 4 at the centre aisle.
Thomas, just to clarify your position, you said that you're not sure if you will or won't have somebody set out. Could you give us the specific reasons why you wouldn't have somebody set out, or why you would have someone sit out?
No, but there's a lot of things that can happen, you know, overnight. I mean, there's all sorts of people wake up, I mean, in different ways, and they, you know, at the moment we're in a good place with all 12. We felt all of us when we sat down that we've seen so many good things over the 3 days, and we're happy with where everybody is, and that's a good reason to play them all. But that doesn't mean that you are going to play them all. You know, there's so many things can happen tomorrow. That can be guys that don't feel right, or there can be guys that are, you know, just a little bit off, and then, you know, might be better wait until Saturday. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, I got my plans in my head about what I want to do, but I've said all along as a captain, you got to be aware that they move.
And over to the right, Mike 1.
Thomas, yeah, what final message will you give to your players tomorrow morning before sending them out? And now that we're here, how confident are you that Europe will win?
No, but that's an opportunity. You know, this is an opportunity to stand up and follow in the footsteps of all the great players of this continent. And that's the opportunity they have. Some of them have a long-standing Ryder Cup career and history with this event, and some of them are just setting out on a new chapter in their lives. But for all of them, it's an opportunity to add to what their golf careers is about. I've always said one thing about the game of golf. Players, they stand up and they're counted for what they do in the greatest events in the world. But legends are made in this event. You know, that is where the public comes around them, and they can do so much for their careers. It's an opportunity to go out there and be the best that you can be on a grand stage.
And staying on the right with you, and Mike 3.
Thomas, is Henrik not playing in the morning at all linked to his injury or fitness situation?
No, there's nothing to do with that at all.
He spoke yesterday about tiredness, whatever. That was all. I wondered if it.
Yeah, but you know, we find ourselves in a you know, for our guys being at home match is difficult in a way that it's a bit tiring. You know, you're doing a lot of things. For these guys, there's a lot of media stuff from their home nations, and you know, so they live in a home match, but they actually travel to a away match from their homes. You know, they live in America, so they get a little bit compounded the first couple of days with extra stuff, so they feel it a little bit more. They feel a jet lag, and then they also got to do all those things that come in with being at home. So that's a little bit different. So yeah, so as I said, on Tuesday they were dragging their feet a little bit, all the guys that came from America, and that's natural because they've been over there for so long, and it's just a little bit of traveling. And so, but that doesn't mean that, you know, Henrik is a guy that, you know, you can use him 5 times, you can use him 4 times, you can use him 3 times, or you can play him 2 times. He'll stand up and he'll do what he can do best in whatever position he's put in the team. I've known Henrik for so many years, and it's not like you walk up to him and say, okay, you're not playing tomorrow morning, and he looks at you like you don't know what you're doing. He just goes, okay, well, I'll go with that, and, you know, we go with it as a team. He's a brilliant guy to have in that room because he just does what is best for the 12.
And Mike 2 over here on the left.
Thomas, during the opening ceremony, you had very strong words about the unity of Europe and the pride of being a European. Was it something to get your players even more fired up, or more of a personal issue you wanted to share?
No, but I think, you know, I'm a European, and I play on the European tour and done for most of my life. I've been focused solely on that tour, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud of this part of the world as a continent. I'm very proud of what we are. And I always feel like when I get into a Ryder Cup team, it brings the best out in all Europeans. That is what we are. We are cross nations. We have different cultural backgrounds. We believe in different things, but when we get in that team, we get together and are proud of being Europeans. And I sometimes think that's forgotten, that we have so much in common. That's my opinion. Not everybody shares that opinion, but that's my opinion. I felt like I wanted to portray what we are as a team to the people that were watching.
Staying on this side, Mike 4.
Thomas, a follow-up to the previous question, actually, in a way. I mean, I thought it was a very interesting speech. You referred to the unity of Europe. You referred to the flag. It was almost as if you were deliberately addressing the people of the UK.
Not at all. Not at all. Just remember one thing. I lived 15 years of my life in England, and England is my home, and I love the country. I love living there. I have an English girlfriend, and it is my home, and it'd probably be very difficult for me to see any time in the future coming out of that country. So I love everything about that country, but I am a European. I'm Danish by birth, and I believe in the things that I believe in, but that doesn't mean that I believe in the European Union or not. I'm not addressing the people of the United Kingdom in any way, shape or form in this. I'm addressing what we are in that European team room, and trust me, if you look at all the United Kingdom players who are in that team, they wore that today because this week, that's what they represent. And as I said in the speech as well, that for us represents the boundaries of Europe this week. It doesn't represent the European Union.
And over here on the right, mic 1.
Thomas, Ian Poulter obviously has a phenomenal Ryder Cup record, and he was one of your wild cards. Was it? Can you just speak about? Was it a difficult decision to leave him out, and also perhaps Sergio, another one who was another one of your wild cards?
Yeah, but they're all difficult to leave out, and especially guys that played in so many, But I'm quite sure that you'll see them on the golf course at some stage before Sunday, and they fall into the group like anybody else, and they know what they are and what they represent and what they can go out and deliver, and it's all about building for the whole week. I believe in that strongly, but as I said before, I had some guys that were really, really keen on getting out on the golf course, and they never been here before. So I felt like it was really important to get them out there because I believe in them and I trust them. And then, there were some guys that had to sit out. It's the worst part of being Ryder Cup captain. It's the picks, and it is leaving guys out for the matches. But that's what makes this event so great. I mean, you've done nothing but predict in the paper what was going to happen with the two teams, and you will all be making your comments if we're right or wrong on what we did. And but that's what makes it great. It creates stories. It creates people's interest, and we don't go into a room and just draw names out of a hat. I sit with 5 extremely experienced vice captains, and we have a conversation. I make the decisions in the end, but we don't just come up with it for fun. We go with what we see and what we feel and what we think is right for this team.
And mic 2 over in the left here, please, Thomas.
Thomas, you've just outlined your faith in the rookies that are out first tomorrow. Do you think picking them ahead of some really experienced names will really give them an extra confidence boost? The fact that they've been picked over guys like Ian and Sergio.
When I played in my first match in 1997, I didn't play till Saturday, and it was really, really difficult. And that was not a question that when Sevi said to me, I wasn't playing on Friday. It wasn't something where I got upset or disappointed in the way that I wanted to just learn everything about the Ryder Cup, and I wanted to be part of that team. But as you reflect on it afterwards, you work so hard for so long to get in the team, and you want to be out on that golf course, and that's how you are as a player. And when I look at this group of guys that's come into this team, they're really hard competitors, and I believe in them so much. And I wanted to give them that responsibility of standing up and go out there and enjoy it. You don't want to get yourself in positions where you're forced into do something. We go with this tomorrow morning, and I'm happy with the way it's come out. I just don't think there's any weaknesses in this team, and that's kind of makes me really happy, but it also makes the decisions very difficult.
And mic 3 over on the right hand side.
Thomas, just wondering about the synergies that you saw that brought you to put Rory and Bjørn out together tomorrow.
Well, they both wanted to play with each other. That's a good start. And then you got. If you ask the guys in our team, who do you want to play with? I mean, Rory's not far away, is he, from most of their lips. It's a pretty easy choice. But Bjørn is a player. They get on really well, and they spend a lot of time together. And the thing about Bjørn is that a lot of people would think, oh, is that a big thing for him? He'll go out in that match, and he's really, really, he'll take it on and really enjoy it. And that's where he comes from in most things. He never ceases to amaze me in the way he approaches things. He's fallen into this group right in the middle of it. He's the only one without a girlfriend or wife this week, and he still falls into the middle of it in a great way. He never sits in a corner and does his own thing, and he's right in the middle of the group, and that's great to see from a rookie. He doesn't come in with big arm movements, but he just falls into the group. Everybody, how can you not like him? He's a pretty good guy and a pretty special person, and they were both really keen on it, and once they were keen on it, then I started looking at it, and I've spoken to both of them for a while about this now, and then I started looking at it, and that it turned out the way they've been playing and how they're feeling on the golf course, they really look forward to it. And as a pairing, that's a great start. If you want to play with each other and you look forward to getting out on that golf course together, well, then you're off to a good start. There's no guarantees that any golfer of these 24 is going to go out and play great tomorrow, but you got to have all this framework to give them an option to go and play great.
And staying on the right, Mike 1.
Thomas, in the position you're in of blooding rookies early on, would you be satisfied with coming out of the morning on equal terms?
Yeah, I think you always got to look at any session and say, if you're not losing the sessions, it's not too bad. But that also depends on where you are. But I think you'd like to be ahead after any session. But when I look at these matches, they're just they could be as tight as anything, all four of them, and it's impossible for me to predict what's going to happen. But I'm very focused on my side of what I put out, and not so much focused on what they're up against, in the sense that our 8 players that are going out tomorrow morning, the only thing they can do is go out and play as good as they can, and then we'll see what the results are. Golf is a funny game, but this is what I trust and believe in for tomorrow morning.
And the centre aisle on Mike 4 is Doug.
Thomas, having been part of this Ryder Cup for so many years in different roles, what on the eve of the matches, where does most of the anxiety come from, and is it any different as a captain than it was as a player?
Yeah, it is, because you as a player, you're worried about how you're playing the golf course and where you are with your game and how that's going to stand up. As a captain, you're worried about where 12 players are with their game and how their game is going to stand up, and that's just the way it is. And then there's so much other stuff going on as a captain, so your mind is always thrown to different kinds of things, and so you go through all that stuff that comes with it. So as a captain, your anxiety or your anticipations come from places where you're not used to, so you don't recognize those feelings, you don't recognize when they come. As a player, you know exactly when you're going to be nervous, you know exactly how you're going to react to it, you know exactly, you're going to, as the week progresses, you're going to go to bed 1 or 2 nights where you're thinking maybe for an hour or two about how to play the golf course and what's going to happen, and then you go to bed on Thursday night, you're nervous, and you wake up Friday morning and you're even more nervous. But we're used to dealing with those situations. The walk to the first tee, what that's going to be like, but as a captain, you've never done this before, so you're walking into all these new situations, and you get nervous about things in the week where you think, I don't know what I'm nervous about, but there's obviously something in my mind that I need to figure out what that is, and then you start kind of outlining what it is, and then you deal with it, but you're finding new things as you go along, but that's part of the fun, I guess.
What would surprise you?
What would surprise me? I mean, I think I learned to not expect anything but surprises in this. It would surprise me if it was quiet on the first tee.
And staying in the centre at Mike 2.
Thomas, would you give an example, please, of how you use the data, what you listen to in the data with the pairings, and when you listen to your gut?
Yeah, but that's, I think I've talked about all the way through my captaincy that you know, going into pairings, and it was the same with the picks. You know, you go with certain elements is on the data, and certain elements is how I feel and how people around me feel, and making those decisions. And, you know, in the end, feeling that things are right between these players and it works is probably the thing that comes out the most, you know, and that comes a lot from the players themselves. You know, they, as much as this group gets on across everything, obviously there are some that are attracted to each other more in the way of playing golf, because that's just that they see themselves as personalities and the way they play, and you look at all those things. But sometimes you also got to stand up and say, okay, you two might not know each other very good, but this does fit. You know, every stat in the world will tell me that you two fit well together, so you need to go and play together. But then you work on them, not for 2 days, but for 2-3 weeks. When you know your team, you start working on it then, and you get it in their heads, and then you assess it when you get here. Are they actually, you know, the stats say they're working well, should work well together. Are they now gelling as a pair? And then you can give it a try. And the final question, Mike 3 at the back.
Thomas, what are your plans for tomorrow? Are you going to drive around like Sevi did in Valderrama, or what sort of groups are you going to support, or how are you going to do it?
No, I'm going to have a salary discussion with Keith Pelly, I think. You know, I want to be out on the golf course as much as I can. That's something that I'm quite looking forward to. These days, leading into it is quite demanding on the captain. Actually, tomorrow the fun starts, and you're out with the players, and you're watching a bit more. And I want to be out there. And obviously, I got great vice captains, and they'll keep me informed. But I want to be out there because I feel like the presence on the golf course is the one place where you get the atmosphere and you get the feeling of what is actually going on. I got an earpiece in, and I know every golf shot that's been hit throughout the day, but it's a bit like listening to a football match or watching a football match. It's not quite the same. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Sorry, Charlie.